Good morning.
Frankie, jump.
He won't jump. How are you?
Jump. Come on, Frankie. Come here. Come say hi.
I hope y'all are doing well. I'm doing spectacular. Oh, life is so weird. It's so crazy, one thing after another in life. If you've had one like mine, it has not been boring.
Jump. Jump.
And then when you think you can finally settle down and be old-fashioned, not boring, but just content, satisfied, I get these health issues scares, and I just think it's weird because I've had them several times now. They don't always happen at bad times in my life or good times in my life. They just happen at times when I think I'm doing okay. Whether I am or not is up to speculation, but they're not during a time of what I considered a crisis. It might have been a, like, is this the right relationship for you kind of crisis, or career kind of crisis. Yeah, I guess. Maybe health issues really are stress related. They talk about that. And you think high blood pressure and strokes, but you don't always think that a brain tumor or an aneurysm or cancer is stress related, but turns out it is. And even just having, if you're doing everything right, having a group of friends that are going through something similar or who really understand you, not just, okay, I know this person, we're kind of friends, but who really knows you, There's a difference between having friends and having people who know you. Like the ones I was going to karaoke with, remember I told you about them? They weren't friends. They were associates, peers, excuse me, buddies, but they weren't friends. They didn't know me. My knitting circle back up in Galesburg, now they were friends. So far away. Anyway, the reason I'm telling y'all this is because, so I went and got that chest x-ray. The results came in and they had 3 sets to make sure they got a good picture of everything. Found nothing. Found advanced arthritis. But we know that from how stiff I wake up in the morning. That's why I try to move around. I like the dance. I like the trampoline. I like them. That doesn't mean I'm committed to them every single day. So I really try to at least get on for a minute. The trampoline. I try to dance around at least for a minute. And then, of course, it goes into more usually. Also, I don't know if you knew this. This is something I was reminded of. Everybody says, you shouldn't smoke, you'll get cancer. Well, suicide or homicide is what I say. Thank God for cigarettes. If I'm having a mental breakdown, losing my mind, or have a broken heart, I think the body recuperates from a few cigarettes. Now, a pack or more a day, I don't know about that. However, I need some makeup on. I'm going to a meeting today. What was I going to tell you? Oh, so something worse than I think from the research I'm doing. But I'm not done with my research. But what I'm finding out is that sugar is worse than anything, or it's the best thing you can do if you want cancer, is eat a lot of sugar. So, that's something that I've been, oh, I forgot moisturizer. Dang it. Okay, let's try. We'll try that again. So I've been looking at that. I've been doing a lot of research. So anyway, they didn't find anything on my chest. Oh God, I don't know how to have a straight conversation, a linear conversation, if I don't have somebody in front of me. If it's just me talking into this camera to myself, I'm just having a verbal party. Sorry. Okay, so because they didn't find anything, but the lump's still there, and it grew a little bit, which was weird. Like, damn. So, they went ahead and made me an appointment to get a sonogram. Well, you try to live here in this area, even though it's by a military base, they don't have the equipment for all these x-ray machines and sonograms. And if people have a sonogram, they don't broadcast it because they don't want to get overwhelmed and have business they don't want. I had a doctor here who retired and had a sonogram, but he sold his business, and I can't remember what her name was. Anyway, I have an appointment for a sonogram on the 10th. That's right, the 10th. And meanwhile, I told you the spot grew a little bit. Well, so I thought, what am I going to do? So as I'm reading, I'm finding out some very interesting information. I'm finding out that there's very inexpensive research that can be done on a couple things that are doing very well and have been doing well for some time. However, the big pharma companies won't fund it, and that's where all the colleges have committed their money, is to big pharma. Some deal they made. So somebody comes out, even though it looks really good, or there was a few fantastic cases, they're just not, their hands are tied. Anyway, that's kind of the way I understood it. It's like, no, this money's set aside for your brother. I'm sorry. Because he's smarter than you. So he gets to go to college and you don't. That kind of thing. Anyway. I'm going to write that down. I could, well, today's the 20th. Yeah, that's another. I'll write that down. Dr. Shop's office. We'll go see there. Otherwise, I have to wait till the 10th. Excuse me. I gave my dog allergy pills and I didn't take one myself. I will be right back. Damn it. Jump. Jump. Good boy. Okay. Anything changed with you since I was gone? Okay, so I have realized going through this how much I didn't know, how much I kind of knew already, but I haven't been disciplined, like cutting back on sugar. I've heard that before. I've heard that before. And there's lots of times I've turned down sugar, but a whole bunch of times I didn't, because I rationalize. Like, well, I don't eat sugar very often. I'm more of a salt person. So when I do eat sugar, I think, no biggie. And sometimes I overindulge. It's not like I just have a little piece or one or two pieces. I will sit there and eat a whole bowl full. I know none of you are like that, right? You have the self-discipline to not behave that way, I'm sure. Oh, and if I make a package of popcorn, I put a little sprinkle of sugar on it, and I think, oh, that's not much sugar, but then I eat the whole bowl of popcorn. Well, I don't eat more. Well, I've had good self-discipline a couple times in my life. Usually I finish off the bag. I just love it. Salty, crunchy, sweet. So I've been doing all this experimenting with a couple things I've heard. So I'm buying all these vitamins and supplements and what are they called? Anti-parasitical stuff. Man, the test results on this stuff are fantastic. So there's a lady right now. I'll get her name for you if any of you are interested. She did a big interview with several doctors that are on the more do whatever you can. Go ahead and get whatever treatment you want, with the typical Western medicine, the chemo, radiation, all that. But, excuse me, people seldom talk about some of the emotional changes that happen when someone's going through chemo and radiation. Especially the chemo, because it readjusts your whole hormone system. I don't know. I'm just finding this stuff out. So anyway, this couple that I'm looking at, trying to learn some things from. Why am I yelling? It's hard for me to stay on track, and it's hard for me to not yell in videos. And I may do it with clients too. I don't know. I've always been a loud talker. Yeah. Okay, so anyway. So she was saying how, and she shared her x-rays. She shared how she had stage 3 or 4 breast cancer. She went through all the treatments for that. And she was getting better. I don't know if they said she was completely cancer-free, but then they said she had terminal cancer because it somehow reappeared. I don't know. I'm going to listen to it again, and I'll give you her name. If I weren't on my phone, I would give it to you right now. Fascinating story. My heart goes out to them, her and her husband, because he had to put up with her terrible adjustment to the medicine that the chemo she was taking, and how it changed her personality, made her angry, paranoid, worried. And he said that she was always the nicest person you'd ever want to meet, and always kept his temper down if he was gonna be upset. It's always easier to catch flies with sugar than vinegar or something like that is what he shared. It was one of those cute little ditties. Anyway. That's what he was on the interview too. So anyway, they had done this research and found out that these antibacterials or parasiticals were helping people heal. Don't take my word for it. I'm not in this. I don't have a pony to be worried about, except my own journey, right? I'm not judging. You do you, right? So she was diagnosed in November, and in March, Frankie, I think it was March, she was cancer-free from terminal cancer. Evidently, the same doctors that were shut down over the COVID ivermectin situation including the old doctors, older, like my age, who have been around for a long time and who have watched this drug work miracles. Yeah. They gave me 10% off of a order at TJ Maxx, and I have not received the card, so I'm gonna report that. See, you get it on your mind, write it down so you don't forget, and it's not distracting. Okay, so anyway, these doctors have been working with these medicines for a long time. And when they were just calling it horse medicine, when it's been saving lives around the world, especially in very, very poor countries, because the medicine is so inexpensive to make, I guess. I mean, there were doctors all over just shocked, but if you fought it too much or tried to prescribe it anyway, people were losing their licenses. Businesses were closing down. They were calling them out on national television. Doctors and hospitals were required to do certain protocol, like put people on incubators and therefore, and isolate them from their friends and family. So guess what else is on that list? It's ivermectin. There's another one, fenbendazole, and vitamin D and vitamin C. Big deals, right? Medicines we've always known is good for us, right? So anyway, there's a certain... I just find it fascinating. And you have to take milk thistle, because if you take this stuff as prescribed, your body's not used to it, your liver's not used to it, so you have to kind of keep an eye on those things. And you can get liver enzyme, whatever, test down the road at the blood place. It's called, here in Clarksville, it's called the lab. You can go in there anytime and get if someone says, I'm clean and sober, well, you can take them down there and get a lab test right now. Mm-hmm. Or a pregnancy test, or food sensitivity tests. It's a wonderful, wonderful asset to any town is to have something like that. Look at these eyebrows. Well, if I have cancer, it's sure not affecting my facial hair growth. Good grief. Look, how does this happen overnight? Good gosh. Well, it's funny because I figure I was in bed for several days. I was when I realized there was a lump there, and I didn't know what to do about it except go to the doctor, which I'm going to keep doing. I can't wait to see it on labs because I've been doing the protocol for just 4 days, and I feel like the spot is already smaller, but Frankie, stop. Little booger. Come on, stop it. You bored? Where's your toy? My goodness. Oh, poor thing. Took him out to the property the other day, and oh, he and Molly had the best run. Molly likes to swim, and weirdly, I guess because of all the rain and the humidity, the water hasn't been soaking up as fast, but she was down there in that creek just swimming in a little circle because it's not very big. I mean, the creek is long, but where water will accumulate is a small area on each side of this embankment, or what do you call it? It's where it goes over a road. Not embankment, inductment. I don't know. You know what I mean, though. So they finally got some exercise. Because like I said, I've been sleeping, I've been tired, I haven't been doing anything. I think just mentally, I haven't been thinking about it, like making it bad and scary. I've been researching and researching as I've been working. So, as soon as I'm done with my last client, I'm researching again. I think it's just wearing me out. I think it's just wearing me out on that level. So I'm going to try to take it easy today, which I don't know if I will, because my yard is doing pretty good now. So now I need a new spot. So I think I'm going to take over a new spot in the front yard. I need something to keep my mind busy. Or I might start hanging out at the bars again in my high heels and lip gloss. I'm going to go out with flying colors. There are some people that I sit with who have been on death's door for a long time before they pass. And there are some people, years, several years. Some for just a few months. But like my godmother, for example, they thought they found cancer, and then they're like, oh, it's not that bad. It's just some cells sitting there. And then they thought maybe it was growing, so they were going to go in for more testing. And next thing you know, she's having terrible stomach issues. Oh my God, it was just horrible. And she had been having small health problems all her life, so she kept trying to take it. Well, after about a week of that, they got her into an appointment, and then they said, we need her to go somewhere else. So she was in pain for several days. She finally got somewhere else, and they admitted her in the hospital, and she passed away within a couple days. Yeah, it was tough. It was a trip. It was a head trip. It was a head trip. Sometimes it just moves so fast. You've been hearing stories about people say, yeah, they got diagnosed with cancer. They just were tired, and then they were dead a week later. It's like, holy cow, I guess that's how it works. I don't know. Cancer's tricky. I don't know if y'all have any stories about it, but well, my phone's getting probably low on battery, or video room, not battery. So if I get cut off, I'm sorry. So anyway, that's why I think I have such this weird sense of humor, which I've always had. I've always had a kind of dark, twisted, cold sense of humor because of the clientele I work with. If I didn't have this sense of humor, God, I wouldn't be able to keep doing what I do. Oh, I need mascara. Let's do that. I kept thinking, why do I look like I don't have no eyelashes? Okay, so I figure, what is it I haven't done? Well, when I was having that heart issue, it was during COVID, and I was so miserable with my spouse's health that I just, oh my gosh, it was, and I was losing I lost my godmother to cancer. Oh, which her family's been raking in the dough from that mesothelioma. You know, you see their commercials on TV. If you or a family member has had that mesothelioma, I don't know, you know what I'm talking about. Cancer, get all these doctor's appointments, get all the documentation and call that number because they're raking in the money. And they've been a fairly, hard-working factory workers, mechanics, their whole life. So to them, this is big money. So, and I don't know if it's going to quit coming. We'll see. I don't know how long it'll keep coming now that she's passed away. But the checks kept coming to her husband. Yep, and he was spending it on his kids. So I don't know what they're going to do now that he just recently passed. Which broke my heart because I'm not well enough to go. It doesn't seem like it. I don't want to overexert myself. So anyway, my appointment's June 10th. I've got the paperwork filled out at that hospital. They'll do a sonogram. Ultrasound. Ultrasound, I think, is like a sonogram. Similar. And meanwhile, I decided that the semi-retirement, cutting back on clients is I'm not ready for that yet. I'm bored. Because I started thinking, well, what hobbies can I do? What can I enjoy? Where do I want to travel? And I'm going to tell you the truth. I want to go places. I want to go see Chrissy, who sent me a birthday present. Oh my God, it was so cute. It's this beautiful little bowl that says, "I'm glad we're sisters." And the perfect nail polish for me. It's a kind of a dull white, the lightest gray. I can't wait to use it. I finally grew out my nails. I used to always keep them ultra short. I mean short. Sports short. Because I don't like breaking them because they're not very thick. And what else? A little night light, which she knows I love little night lights. I keep one in my travel case because when I travel, you know, sometimes you can't see around to get to the bathroom, or if you're in a friend's house, you can't see to do certain things. So I like that. I like having little night lights handy. That's for sure. What else? Oh, there was something else in there, and I'm drawing a blank because I took everything out and started using it right away. So thank you, Chrissy. And I've gotten some birthday cards, which is very sweet. I love that. So, what else was I going to say? I think that's, so, oh, okay. Yeah. So, I am seeing more clients. I've already signed up a couple new ones because I get calls all the time, and I've had a waiting list for years, but I quit having a waiting list. It was just too much trouble because you put someone on a waiting list and they're actually almost in the phase of waiting. And I don't like that energy. It's having this list, and it's exuding this waiting energy. I don't like that. So I just told people for a long time, I just don't have a waiting list anymore. There for a while, it made me money because anytime I had an opening, somebody was slipping in, and it was really good for me. And it was good for my ego. It helped me really kind of have that super confidence that every business person likes to have. Because face it, being a therapist is a business. And I work hard for the money. Now, I gotta be honest, some of my clients are pretty easy. So, but they're the ones who are always, will call in sick at the last minute, or not call in sick for last minute, but cancel at the last minute, or not show. So they get an automatic charge, and they're happy with that. I'm happy with getting an automatic charge when I miss an appointment. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it because I'm going to keep her in good graces. I want her to still like me, so I pay. If I miss a session, I pay. So I'm taking good care of myself. I'm taking a lot of these supplements that they're suggesting in the way they're suggesting it. Oh, not only that lady, I can get you her name, but they have a website called The Cancer Crew. Cancer, CREW.org. Cancer Crew, one word, cancercrew.org. It's a husband and wife team, and I might sign up for their support group, which is minimal money to, help support the webpage and the Zoom meetings or the emails or however they do that. Plus all that information off of the FLCCC. I think they're changing their name to something else, but you can still find them under that. One website leads right into the other. They have a very good web program. Somebody watching that, and they're very professional. It's one of the best I've seen. It's better than my bank, how they're transitioning. Certainly better than the insurance companies when they transition. Let's see.